Hi, my name is Allie, and I'm going to be talking about Newton's three laws of motion. So let's get started. Newton's first law of motion states that every object either continues at its continual state of rest, like this.
An object at rest tends to remain at rest.
Or in a uniform state of motion in a straight line, like this.
An object in motion tends to remain in motion at a constant speed.
The object will stay in either one of these unless it's acted by a force. So that's Newton's first law. Now, Newton's second law of motion involves acceleration. And acceleration is the change of velocity over a time interval. And the important thing about acceleration is that it's proportional to the force that is exerted on the object. So, the second law states that the acceleration of an object is directly proportional to the net force acting on the object, and is in the direction of the net force, and it's inversely proportional to the mass of the object. So, when Sophie is pushed by a large force like this, or when she's pushed by a small force like this,
and then do you want me to push her again?
Her acceleration is directly proportional to the force that's acting upon her. So, to finish this off, we're going to talk about Newton's third law of motion. Now, this is probably the most popular in my opinion and kind of makes sense. So, Newton's third law of motion states this. It deals with forces, actions, and reactions upon itself. So, whenever one object exerts a force on a second object, the second object exerts an equal and opposite force on the first. Let's see examples of this.
So whenever one object exerts a force on the second object exerts an equal and opposite force on the first. So here, Sophie is exerting a force on the wall, but the wall is also exerting a force on Sophie.
Alright, so those are Newton's three laws of motion. Let's review them. The first law states that when an object is at rest, it will want to remain at rest, and when an object is in motion, it will want to remain in motion unless it is acted upon by an external force. Alright, the second law is dealing with acceleration, and when a force acts on an object, the object will accelerate, and that acceleration is directionally proportional to the net force and is inversely proportional to the mass of the object. And finally, the third law is that dealing with action and reaction. So whenever one object exerts a force on a second object, the second object will also apply a force that is equally and opposite on the first object. So that's it. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.